Okay, this is case study number 3. 15-year-old male, 275 pounds, who wants to try out for the football team. This is a little bit harder because usually I don't encourage people to start lifting weights that young, but obviously in high school they have different plans for their athletes. They have them lifting weights in the second week of the year as freshmen. So this is actually a pretty hard one to range because you don't know if the client. I didn't know if the client lifted weights before until after the questionnaire. Things I found on the questionnaire is the things that I found out he lacked the most was probably confidence, just because being 275 pounds, especially coming into high school that young, you may feel that's not the right body image or whatever. So that's the one thing I'll have to include in his behavioral goals, is to just stay confident and surround himself with different athletes who have the same goal as him, which can encourage him to lift. But obviously we're trying to, one of the main things that he said he wanted to do in this training regimen is to convert his fat into muscle. So this is more of a hypertrophy training regimen, so the higher reps and then maybe lower weights. And then week to week there's alternate back to strength training, so lower reps just to shock the body, keep the body working, so his body doesn't get complacent. So in the notes section, I have an ab circuit. The first one I included from training regimen number 1, which is Russian twists, obliques, V-abs, planks, and then ab roller. And then that happens at the end of each lifting session. Is 3 rounds. First week starts at 30 seconds. And then at the end of the month, at the end of the regimen, it's up to 3 rounds for 45 seconds. And that's usually, for myself, that's usually where I stop, is at 45 seconds. And then that's a pretty good plateau to just keep your core strong, because you don't have to keep going up for your core. You could maintain it at a strong position. So his goal is to drop 25 pounds and then turn his fat into muscle. The first day includes deadlift, barbell rows, and then various back and bicep workouts, including hammer curls and then flies, reverse flies. Deadlift I include for 4 sets, and then lately I started light. I figured he can lift a pretty good amount of weight for his size, so I started at 185, and then at the end of the month we're looking at doing 4 sets of 255 for 8 to 10 reps. The second one is the barbell rows, which again I started off pretty light. I started at 95 pounds, which is 25 pounds on each side of the bar. And at the end of the month, I have that going up to 135, so he's moving a plate on each side of the bar for the barbell rows. And then ending that day with an ab circuit. The second day would be legs, and the third day would be bench, and then Saturday would be a cardio, run, swim, deload day. So the legs workouts include back squat, leg extensions, goblin squats, and then the alternative day it's front squats and other various leg workouts, including lunges. So the back squat, I started him off at 225, and then at the end of the month he's moving 275 pounds for 4 sets. And again, we're looking at goblin squats starting off at 45 pounds at the beginning of the month, 4 sets of that. And at the end of the month, we're looking at 55 pounds. On chest day, we're looking at bench press starting at, I didn't know where his bench press was going to range it, so we started pretty light at 95 pounds, just because when you start lifting, bench press is the one that usually shocks you the most. That's what I've come to find, at least. But the end of the month, we got to move 165, 5 sets of 8 to 10 reps. This is obviously just a rough estimate. And after I do my first few sessions with him, I'll be able to range where he's at. The chest day also includes dumbbell incline press, and then close grip bench for triceps, and then we're looking at assisted dips as one of the ending workouts as well. The second back day, which is 2 days from the first back day, deadlift, seated rows, front squats. So it's more general. It's more of a full body workout. We're looking to really shave that fat and then turn that into muscle. And this is, I would say, is a pretty solid one. At the end of the month, we got him moving about 225 pounds per deadlift, and obviously, like I said before, once I be able to find the range, he could start lower, he could end lower, he could end higher than what I expected. So after I engage a few sessions with him, I'll be able to gauge where he's at. Some behavioral things, like I said before, goals that he can have are surrounding himself with a good group of lifting partners, because that's what I'd say is just as important as a diet, is having a lifting partner to push you and give yourself a little bit of competitive edge, especially being in high school football and all. Other things are watching videos for himself to see how lifters progress and little techniques that can help him lifting. Some other behavioral techniques, some short-term goals is to be making all his core lifts, making 225 pounds look easy to him. And obviously chest is probably going to be the hardest, bench press is probably going to be the hardest, because you find some plateaus here and there with between 185, 205, and 225. There's some pretty tough plateaus there. But with this intensive training regimen, I think he should be alright, and he should progress pretty quickly and find himself pretty obsessed with lifting at the end of the month. And obviously, this is just a private weight training plan. The weight training plan that his team might have him preparing might be a little bit harder, a little bit more organized, a little bit more appropriate to what position he's playing and such. Okay, that's case number 3, 15-year-old male, 275 pounds, looking to try out for the football team.